welcome back. Late last week, attorneys for Robert Tellis, the man accused of killing journalist Jeff Germain, filed a motion to withdraw as counsel. In the filing, the attorneys indicated that Tellis wants to represent himself in court, and in an interview this week, Tellis now claims he was framed for the murder. So what are the rules when a criminal defendant would prefer to represent his or herself at trial, and what are the possible consequences? Joining us now to talk about that is attorney Matt Hoffmann with Battle-Born Lawyers. Matt, welcome. Good to see you. Where do you want to even open the can on this one? Because this is something that it happens, but is this a case that you would expect it to happen?
I certainly wouldn't expect it to happen in a murder trial. I mean, it has happened before. Everyone has the right to defend themselves. That's as old as the country itself. The Judiciary Act was signed into law by President Washington before the Sixth Amendment that guarantees a jury trial ever became an amendment. And so you have the right to do it. It's just not always a good idea, and it's rare in a major criminal trial. But we saw it with Darrell Brooks, the Wisconsin killer who ran a vehicle into a crowd, and his trial was just this past fall. And then we saw it with serial killer Ted Bundy. He represented himself.
That's right.
Now, I would say that the success rate was low. Ted Bundy died in an electric chair 10 years later, and Mr. Brooks, I think, got 10 life sentences. So can it happen? Yeah, but it's rare.
What are the complications? Let's kind of go through, because one of the things that we talked about, depositions, the deposition process. How will that be complicated?
So if he's going to represent himself, it's extremely awkward. Number one, they're not going to let him out to go do a deposition or to investigate things. But I can imagine they would give him limited time to do things by video, and he would have access there. But where it's going to get really awkward is at trial. The jury's going to listen to this person questioning witnesses who will refer back to him in first person. Well, what did the defendant tell you? Well, Mr. Tellis, you told us X, Y, Z. Or what did the defendant's blood show? Well, Mr. Tellis, your blood was found on the victim. So very, very strange.
What kind of an effect could that have on the jury?
Well, to me, it would be dangerous because it's reinforcing the idea you did it. And honestly, what I think has happened here is that we're on our third set of attorneys now who are withdrawing. Mr. Tellis is saying in an interview, I was framed. Well, that tells me that he believes that that's a viable defense. The attorneys that he had have said, no, there's no evidence of that. We can't ethically present that defense. And he's saying, well, I'll do it anyway. And so he wants to represent himself. He is a lawyer. And he thinks that he can present this dramatic case of him being framed. And that's why the evidence is so overwhelming.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the skill set. It's one thing to be an attorney. When you start talking about criminal law, that's a whole different set of law books.
Absolutely, and the procedures are different. There's many different areas of law that this would apply to. I'm a civil litigator, right? That's what I've done my whole career. I'm not going to go step into family court tomorrow and litigate a family law case. I have no idea. I have colleagues that do it, and I defer to them. I'm not going to go into criminal court and take on a capital murder case. It's not something I've done. And so the idea that Tellis would just think that he can just walk in and handle it, this is not going to end well. I just don't see this ending well. In my legal opinion, he's an idiot. And that's where this is going.
Is this possibly putting down a foundation for a chance at an appeal if he doesn't like the outcome of the trial?
I think that his chances of preserving an appeal are greatly diminished by being a pro se litigant, because the court will do everything they can to let him establish a record so that there won't be anything to appeal. I think this is just desperation, and I don't think it ends well.
Matthew, thank you very much for joining us. Good to see you as always.
You as well.
All right.